To make it to the NFL is a crazy feat, man. Not everybody can do it. You know, thousands and thousands of college players try out for the NFL. Only a select few make it every year. So to make it there and to be a top whatever pick is a huge feat, man. Not many accomplish that. But once you get to the NFL, you know, your level of success from the college level, right, doesn't always translate too well to the NFL level. So in this video here, guys, I put together a team of the biggest busts in NFL history, and I'm gonna take them and see if we can build this team up and make a playoff run, man. Shout out to my boy Darian Johnson. I'm actually gonna leave his information here. He put together this roster for me. He does most of TD and TSAP's rosters when it's kind of like custom like this, man. If you want to get a roster made by him, hit him up. He does charge a little bit, just a heads up for the roster. So a little caveat there, man. Let's hop into the video. We have the biggest NFL bust in NFL history on one team, and we're gonna see how many wins that team can get, man. We just put the Bears on the Tennessee Titans, so the Tennessee Titans are gonna be our team. Doesn't really matter. We can relocate if we wanted to, but I don't really care. Or do I? Let me check to see if there's a cool relocation team. All right, I actually relocated the team to Canton because the bus for Hall of Fame players are in Canton. Bus? It's a team full of bus? Come on, bro. Come on. Yo, all right, enough of that, man. So we have the Canton Desperados, right? They're in the Canton, the bus are in Canton, and then the Desperados for the desperate. Boo. All right, let's check out the team. Let's take a deep dive into the team. We're gonna spend a lot of time looking at the team here. I consider myself to be a pretty decent, you know, person who knows ball. Right? My knowledge is like, okay, not gonna lie. But some of these names are a little bit foreign to me, man. Like Mandarich, I don't even know how to say it. Tony Mandarich, I believe he was drafted in like 1989, or like 1990 or 1991, something like that. He's a top 2 pick, I think, to the Packers, right? His career didn't pan out the way, you know, they wanted it to, obviously. I mean, yeah, man, somebody like Eric Flowers, who I remember just because he's a little bit more recent than some of these other guys. Eric Flowers, top 10 pick with New York, right? He had an okay career at the beginning. I mean, I know the Giants declined his 5th-year option, right? And then he had like pretty much a down year. I think he switched positions, and then he was kind of like up and down for a little bit. He signed like a 3-year contract, but he's now a free agent at 29 years old. So to go from being a top 10 talent, right, in the NFL draft to not being on the NFL roster 6-7 years later, I mean, some would say that's a bust, but hey, some would say that's a dub. You know, you were a top 10 pick, you got paid $30 million on the 3-year deal, but it just didn't end up working out. Okay, it happens to the best of us. You can see in the whole line, we got a couple other people you guys probably recognize. Cameron Irving from the center for us. I think this is what, Chance Warmack. Let's get some of the skill positions, which I'm sure you guys are kind of here for, right? You want to see. We have Brandon Pettigrew going to be our tight end. All right, as you guys can see, man, we have Brandon Pettigrew, played, I think, his whole career for the Lions. I don't even know if it's fair to call him a bust. He was a first rounder, but, you know, never really panned out for like a first round, you know, career. He had like I'm looking at stats now. He had like a 300-yard season with the Lions in 2009 and 2 700-yard seasons. But then it was downhill from there, man. 500, 400, 70 yards, and then 67 in 2015. Then cut in 2016. I don't know. He had 3,000 career yards receiving. Spent his whole career with one team. I don't know if you can consider him a bust, in my opinion. But his career obviously did not pan out the way the Detroit Lions envisioned when they spent a first-round draft pick on him. O.J. Howard is here. Probably a more recent face for you guys to remember. I don't know, man. I would even say O.J. Howard he's not bad, right? But obviously just wasn't what they expected when they drafted him. They expected more. He has had a decent career, but nothing crazy. You got this guy right here, man. We all know who this is. Jamarcus Russell, the man himself. I feel like when you think NFL bust, everybody automatically goes to Jamarcus Russell, man. I mean, #1 overall pick out of college. A surefire quarterback, right? I think he went to the Oakland Raiders at the time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was the Raiders. He played only 3 seasons with the Raiders. He only had 4,800 yards passing. Obviously, you're going #1 overall. You're only playing 3 seasons. That's actually crazy. I didn't even realize his career was this short, to be honest with you. 15 games his 2008 season, 12 games in 2009, and then nothing after that. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, right, when you think about being a #1 overall pick. The amount of pressure that weighs on you, man, to succeed is probably, like, mind-numbing, bro. So, shout out Jamarcus Russell, man. Maybe if things were different for him, if something shook out a little differently, he would have played a little differently, he would have been in the league a little longer, but for all intents and purposes, he is the perennial #1 biggest NFL bust of all time, man. Also, I just want to say, I feel like it makes it even worse. They took Jamarcus Russell at #1, and he just wasn't good because of who came after him. Let me name you guys some of the people drafted after Jamarcus Russell, if you don't know. Calvin Johnson went #2, Hall of Famer. Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer. All right, LaRon Landry, great safety for the Washington team. Adrian Peterson, AD, but all day. All right, Jamal Anderson, Ted Ginn Jr., who had a pretty great career in my opinion. Patrick Willis, Marshawn Lynch, Darrelle Revis. Leon Hall. Ben Grubb, shout out the Ravens. Greg Olsen, Hall of Famer. Anthony Gonzalez. Like, I'm just saying, Sidney Rice. The list goes on and on, man. Definitely some big names in there. So the Raiders obviously missed with what they were trying to do, man. All right, man. Darren McFadden, actually a really cool player, man. I know he was the cover of like NCAA in like 2010 or 9 or something like that. Went top 5. I forget who too. The Raiders. Oh wow, the Raiders. Raiders just have like the worst draft luck ever, man. He went top 5 to the Raiders. Played the majority of his career with the Raiders from 2008 to 2014. After that, he then went to the Cowboys for 3 seasons, but didn't really do much in terms of rush. When you're a top 5 pick, obviously they expect more from you. They expect you to be that bell cow at running back to really put the team and the franchise on your back, and Darren McFadden just didn't do that, man. So definitely career that he wanted. So in my opinion, I would say Darren McFadden as well as Jamarcus Russell are both certified busts. All right, let's be honest. All right, man. Next, Darius Hayward-Bay. Now, I don't know, man. I really like Darius Hayward-Bay. I feel like he was coming into the NFL right when I kind of like started watching football in 2008. Or like 2008, 2009. I forget what year, but I was a huge fan of him, man. And he came out of Maryland, so I was really big on him. He went top 10 to the Oakland Raiders. We're just continuing the trend of bad picks by the Oakland Raiders, man, and it just keeps going. But yeah, man, he was great out of college. He went to UMD. He actually grew up kind of close to where I grew up, man. But his career never panned out, man. He spent, He spent 3 years with the Raiders, went to the Colts, then finished his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, guys, just not the career he wanted when he got taken with pick 7. He had 2,200 yards receiving. No, I lied. 2,900 yards receiving career total. And when you get pick 7, guys, you have to realize the company that you're in when you are taking with the top 10 pick. I think it's important that we give some context here. Let's give some people who went top 10 at receiver and kind of compare, right? So like Plaxico Burress, went pick 8 to the Steelers. Travis Taylor, Charles Rogers, Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald went pick 3 to the Cards. Ward Williams, pretty good career with the Lions, right? Braylon Edwards had an up and down career with Browns and Jets as well. Mike Williams, Calvin Johnson obviously pick 2, Ted Ginn Jr. So Michael Crabtree, right? AJ Green pick 4, Julio Jones pick 6. So these are some of the people, right, we're kind of comparing Darius Hayward-Bay to, and obviously he had lesser of the career out the bunch, but honestly, one of my favorite players on this bust team. He had so much potential, man. It just never happened for him. And honestly, I think it's important for us to say it like that sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't happen for some of these players, man. It could be the scheme, it could be injuries, it could just be, the quarterback play, right, that the team has. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, unfortunately. And it definitely did not work out for this guy right here. And speaking of it just not working out for people, man, Justin Blackmon. Justin Blackmon is one of those what if stories I feel like I have. I was watching football heavy when Justin Blackmon came out the draft. And I don't watch college football, but when the draft process is happening, I watch highlights on all the top prospects I want the Ravens to draft. and Justin Blackman was up there. Right? I'm like, all right, we need a receiver. Who we got, man? Justin Blackman. I like him. I like him coming out of OSU, and he had like all the attributes to be great, but he was just somebody who just struggled personal life wise and just never could make it. Unfortunately, you know, he just man, he had like a DUI. I think he got like arrested for other reasons, and man, just couldn't hack it, unfortunately. All right, man, that's pretty much our team. We have a couple others. You can see Sammy Watkins here, which I don't know if Sammy Watkins is a bust. He hasn't had a great career, but he had a lot of good years with the Kansas City Chiefs, but he was just never like a top 10 receiver from my recollection. Nelson Aguilar playing great with the Ravens right now, but again, he went like super early. People expected a lot more from him for the Eagles, but didn't pan out that way. But he's having a great season with the Ravens in real life as a wide receiver 4. Braylon Edwards also here, the former New York Jet, if I'm not wrong. Oh, dude, I don't know, man. Another what if story I feel like I think about sometimes. But let's look at the defensive side of football and talk about some of those busts. Alright, we got a lot of people to talk about here. I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. Alright, first guy we got here is Ahmad Carroll. And again, I feel like I have a pretty good ball knowledge, but I have no idea who the hell this is, bro. I've actually never heard of Ahmad Carroll in my life. If you're a Packers fan and you know who this is, leave a comment below, man. If you know ball, if you know who the hell that is, bro. I have literally no idea whatsoever. All right, next we have D. Milliner, who I actually recognize, finally a name that I actually recognize here. D. Milliner, he went to the New York Jets in the first round here. I think he had like an injury coming out the draft, so he dropped a little bit. So he was still a top 10 pick. I think he was like pick 9, and just, I don't know, man, just didn't really pan out the way that the Jets envisioned. So he played with the Jets, right, 2013 up until the end of his career in 2016, and then he was just kind of released in 2016. Looks like he had a lot of injuries, unfortunately, and he couldn't really beat the injuries. Super unfortunate, man. I feel like it's the worst to be called a bust when your career just didn't take off because of injuries, and it honestly looks like this guy's career didn't even get started. He was just injured from the jump, couldn't get his feet, and yeah, man, super unfortunate. Bro, okay, another person who I have no idea who this is. I feel like my ball knowledge is getting tested left and right. Maybe I'm not a real ball fan, but but here we have Patrick Bates. I mean, first round pick, it looks like. Doesn't really have any stats. Looks like he played in 1993 to 1996. Played for Oakland Raiders. Then they traded him to Atlanta for a second round pick. And he has like 1 interception, 100 tackles, and that was it. And I don't know, this is definitely a deep pull right here, Patrick Bates. If you know who Patrick Bates is, leave a comment below, bro, because I have literally no idea who that man is. Never seen him a day in my life. All right, man, next we have Vernon Golston, more of a recognizable name, face here. Vernon got taken top 10 pick to the New York Jets, and he didn't really play much his rookie season. Didn't really play much his entire career, to be honest with you. He played with the Jets for a couple years and he was released. I don't know, man. I think the Jets, if I remember correctly, Vernon was like kind of like a project pick. He had like the attributes to be a really good outside linebacker, like the speed, size. We actually have Brian Bosworth. If you guys recognize this guy, he was in like The Longest Yard and like a couple other like shows and movies. Yeah, I mean, he just like didn't do anything in the NFL. I think he was taken in like the supplemental draft, right? He didn't do anything in the NFL, but kind of a cool story because he came back there afterwards. Oh gosh, Rolando McClain, bro. Rolando McClain, oh my gosh, this is like a blast from the freaking past, dude. I just remember, so he got drafted by the Raiders in like 2010, but I remember, didn't pan out for the Raiders, unfortunately, as none of their like first round picks did. Then he came to the Ravens. Ravens signed him to like a 1 year deal. Like, all right, cool, come in, we'll develop you, it's all good. And then he's like, yeah, I might actually retire. Retires at the age of 23. Everybody's like, I mean, all right, bro, no problem. But then he literally comes back like the next season, and then he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. So a funny tidbit here is we traded Rolando McClain in a 7th round pick, right, to the Cowboys for a 6th rounder in the 2015 draft, and we actually got Darren Waller, who was on our practice squad for a while. Shout out Darren Waller, man. He's doing big things in New York now. Just super random, bro. This is a deep dive. Yeah, definitely a bust. He had legal issues, just getting in trouble on and off the court. He still is. Looks like he got arrested in 2022. So tough one. So yeah, man, it's a pretty deep team. You guys can take a look at the rest of the team, man. I'm not gonna go through everybody, but some pretty significant Leonard Floyd here. Some pretty significant busts, all right? And I think what we're gonna do here is just run the season with this team and just see how the stats pan out and see if this team could win a playoff game. If they could win the division, if they can get to the playoffs, and maybe even make a run, man. We're giving Jamarcus Russell one little victory dance, you feel me? To see if he can make it shake. Let me know what you guys think about this concept. Let me know what you guys think about these longer kind of offline CFM franchises. All right, guys, we went over the team in great detail. We're gonna go ahead and advance to the regular season mark and see how our team is doing. Yeah, guys, nothing else to say. Let's see how the all-bust team can do in today's modern football game. Guys, you're not gonna believe it, bro. We're literally 0-6. I stopped it because I just wanted to see how we were doing. So I stopped it at week 7. Oh, we're awful, bro. Guys, this is our chance at redemption, bro. Look at the stats real quick. See what's holding us back. Jamarcus Russell, I mean, 7th in passing yards. That's not terrible. Oh, defense is just atrocious, bro. We are 32nd in the NFL. Darren McFadden's getting no touches at all. Well, I try to give them a second chance of hope, but I don't know if it's going to work out, man. Go ahead and advance to the end of the season. All right, guys. I mean, we kind of turned it on at the end of the season. We ended up going 6-11. Not great, obviously. We missed out on the playoffs, unfortunately. So I think the answer is, I guess we cannot fix the all-bust team. I do want to take a look at the stats, right? I feel like some of these guys can have better years. Like Jamarcus Russell, 3,500 yards. That's almost better than his. I think that is better than his entire career. I can't remember his stats off top, but that's probably close, man. Ryan Leaf, who I actually didn't even talk about, probably the second biggest bust of all time. Didn't get any touches. Joey Harrington, who I actually don't know, but everybody knows Ryan Leaf, bro. Darren McFadden, 861 yards. Pretty abysmal, to be honest with you. Receiving, Darius Hayward-Bay, almost 1,000 yards, man. I love to see that. Justin Blackman, Marquise Lee. These two guys right here, probably more yards than they had in their entire careers, man. It's nice to see Justin Blackman succeeding, even if it is only Madden. Alright, I was so high on him coming out the year, but didn't work out. Sacks allowed. Tony Mandarich, man, the juiced up legend himself, allows 12 sacks. Pretty terrible. Eric Flowers is 7, not as bad, but it seems like the defense is what really held us back. 88 tackles from Rashad Anderson, the free safety. I feel like that can't be right. I've never seen it less than like 90 tackles for like the highest tackler, but I guess 88 is the highest amount of tackles for Rashad from a free safety at that. Interesting. TFLs, Marquise Mingo. Hey, Vernon Golston, 14.5 sacks in his rookie season of being a bust. That's pretty impressive. Berkevius Bingo with 4.5 interceptions. D. Milner, 3. Jonathan Abram, 2. I mean, not bad at all. It's interesting, guys. Interesting. So we put it to the test. We couldn't take the all-bust team to the playoffs, man. If you guys want to see a part 2, if you guys want to see a full like 10-year rebuild where we actually draft some players, right? Try to build the team up. Let me know, man. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next one.